Welcome to Work Hard. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Jason.
Now this is podcasting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Work Hard. Not only is this been acknowledged by every major academic body as the objectively the best audiovisual entertainment source on the planet, we also have official recognition from the Vatican. And
It was the last prophecy of Pope Francis.
yes, it was. As Pope Francis died, as he passed,
He was like, watch Work Hard.
His dying breath, he grabbed J.D. Vance by the collar and pulled him in and said, Ethan Bell, as the greatest mind of our generation,
Tell the people.
tell everyone, I don't know what Jason does. He kind of just sits there, giggles, but work hard. And he died. And that was it. So that's actually a recommendation from the Pope. That's not even like an iTunes review or like a good YouTube comment, which, by the way, we had a negative YouTube comment that I saw, bothered me.
Oh? On which video?
Oh, the video a long time ago.
Oh,
like
a long time.
We just missed it. It was like months ago.
Was this the guy who said you spent too much time on?
Yeah, I spent too much time on the internet. Yeah.
On Reddit.
Yeah, well, the thing that's very funny about
He
that
used
is
a slang term I had to look up because I thought he misspelled it at first.
Oh, no. Yeah, but that slang term is very Reddit, very online.
Okay.
Like very online leftist,
Well, obviously.
Twitch streamer, like,
Because I didn't get it.
yeah, very, very, it's just very online. That slur was very online. That is a terminally online slur.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've gotten one mean YouTube comment, but who cares? Because the Pope, we have the backing of the Pope. So, and obviously as Protestants and Presbyterians,
We take that very seriously.
we take that very seriously. That's significant. That's game changing.
Clearly we've arrived.
Clearly we've made it. We've been sanctified. Well, we have actually been sanctified. That's not even a joke.
But not by the Pope.
But not by the Pope. Guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us at Work Hard today. We are back at it again after another week. We are excited. We're excited you're here. I'm excited. I know Jason's excited. I'm trying to think of things to announce. We don't really have any announcements right now.
We're working on a show.
Yeah, we're working on the show, but we're in the middle of a grind. We're just kind of grinding right now, guys. We're in a standard grind mode. And sometimes...
Well, I mean, this video thing has been a pain to get rolling.
That's true.
So, hence the lack of posting and whatnot is...
Yes, this is surprisingly...
We've been figuring out the workflow of
Yeah.
getting video and audio together and the programs. Currently, Adobe Premiere Pro is downloading on my laptop so that I can actually edit this.
Yes.
And so Ethan doesn't have to edit it.
Which would have been fine.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, then I'm not doing anything.
That's true. You gotta keep the work up. All
I
right.
got to do my job. I don't
not
like
getting
it
a
when I
lull
can't
here.
do my job.
Guys, big show today as always. We have so many fun, exciting things to go over. What's going on with you, Jason, though? What's going on with you, big dog?
Didn't you have a story you were going to kick off with?
What was it, though?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Okay. Well,
I said, okay. All right. Now, I know that this
I guess
is...
my story will wait till next week.
It's going to have to wait, brother.
Another week for you guys. Sorry.
All right, so this is... Here's the thing. I'm going to put a caveat here, okay? I know liking Marvel right now is gay. All right? I know that that's not supposed to be cool.
Uh-oh.
Okay? I know that that's supposed to be... It's counterculture to not like Marvel right now, and so it's like not punk rock and edgy to be like I'm having fun with a Marvel related thing. But you're gonna have to get over that because I have something to report. Okay? Now, you guys know that I like video games, all right? And you know that for years, everybody who really likes video games also knows that video games, just like movies, just like books, just like everything that's come out in the last like almost 20 years, has been butts. Like everything sucks. There's a game that has come out that should suck. It should be just as bad as all of the rest of them. But it is the funnest thing I have played in maybe a decade.
More so than the Hunters game?
Yeah, okay, I'll take that back. It's as fun. It's as fun as Hunt.
Really?
It's as fun as Hunt. And Hunt, I don't think this game is like, it's called Marvel Rivals, okay? It's an arena shooter where you play as the superheroes. They all have different abilities. They all do different stuff. It's very fun. But the Hunt is like an elegant, it's like a masterpiece, right? Like Hunt is this like...
It's a beautiful game.
It's a beautiful game made by people who know how to like make shooters and understand the like elements of what makes like good gunplay feel fluid and rewarding, and like it's like a mountain. It's up on a hill. It's a great example of like, what would you say the pinnacle of a shooting video game experience is? It's like Halo, Doom, Hunt Showdown, Quake, like that kind of...
Up there with the big dogs.
Yeah, up there with the big dogs. This is not that. It's certainly like slop. Like it's like made for the mass. It's Call of Duty.
Okay.
Call of Duty sucks. Call of Duty is...
It didn't used to. But Call of Duty, like almost everything else... Since they started churning out one every 9 months.
Yeah, that's bad.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
They slowed down a little bit for a little while, and then they're, like, now they're back on it, and then they're off. Call of Duty used behavioral economics. They figured out that hit registration in video games is extremely rewarding. It's so rewarding that you can basically just design a game around hit registration. You don't even have to make the game good. You can just make it addictive, just like everything else, right? No social media site is good. It's just addictive. Nothing is good anymore. It's just addictive. That's it. That's all it is.
Just hitting dopamine centers.
Right. Yeah. And this game, Marvel Rivals, has that a little bit, but they did one thing. Okay. And this is, I'm getting excited. As soon as I thought about it, I felt a surge of energy. All right. This has been a fundamental design flaw in all of video games since League of Legends came out. or since League of Legends became League of Legends and like became what it is today. The concept of balance. Okay? The concept of balance. Making everything so that this gun is not more powerful than this gun. Because it avoids, you can get a whole, I'm not going to go into the whole caveat of like metas and whatever, all this stuff. Balance is poison. It is awful. It is never, ever what you should aim at in a video game. But everybody does it right now. Everybody wants to balance. The balance in this game is bad. And basically what that means is I can't just use whatever gun I want at any moment and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Now here's the thing. In order to make things balanced, you have two options. You make everything broken or you make nothing fun. That's it. Those are your options. Everything has to be on an exactly even playing field. Okay? Now, because we live in a world of socialism, that means that we have to aim, everything has to be aimed at at allowing the bottom quartile of performers, whether it's people, guns in a video game, machines, whatever, everything has to be synthetically restricted down to the performance level of the bottom quartile. So when designers come in and balance a game, they come in and they make everything not fun. That's how they balance the game.
They nerfed the pistol from Halo 1.
Exactly. They nerf everything. Everything gets nerfed.
It doesn't have a zoom anymore.
Right.
You can't play the whole game with it.
Yes. Now that
pistol was awesome.
That pistol was awesome, okay? And that's what made Halo 1, 2, and 3 awesome.
Just picking off runs from a distance.
Yes, the rocket launcher is supposed to be broken. It's supposed to be better than the battle rifle. It's a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
When you are the one to pick it up, you're the one to remember the spawn time, and you get there and you beat the other guy for the fight and you pick it up. You have earned the right to wipe the map of every other player. No one can stand before you in your newfound power. Okay? And you get 15 seconds of complete and utter 9-year-old dopamine bliss, eyes rolling back in your head. No one can beat you. I have a rocket launcher. Okay? And that is why there were Halo LAN parties for people's birthday. That is why dudes didn't get married until they were in college because they were too busy playing video games in high school. That is what made those games beautiful, was those moments.
You're not selling it very well with the...
I'm just saying it was worth it.
It was worth putting off kids and marriage.
Yes, it was for a couple years of living in that moment. Yeah.
I'm a fire in my laser.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Okay, it was beautiful. That moment was beautiful when you got the Spartan laser and you heard the whoosh, and you knew everyone in the Banshee's dead. You're all dead.
Yeah. Run.
Get in a vehicle, dude. I beg you to get in a vehicle. Those moments were beautiful, and those moments were brought to you by broken, unbalanced mechanics in video games. Okay? Everyone for the last 10 years has balanced down. The devs for Marvel Rivals, for whatever reason, decided, what if we just break everything? What if every character is unbeatable? Like, what if everybody is just, you press a button and you cannot be killed for 6 seconds and you just get to run around. So I play Hulk. That's the character I play.
Of course.
Hulk and Captain America. And
no surprise there.
Yeah. And he's got two big things that he can do. One is that he can like jump halfway across the map with no cooldown.
Right.
So you just press the button and you're just leaping everywhere constantly.
Like Hulk does.
Yes. And he does the whole like, wow, and he like flies in the air, and you get in people's face, and your only attack is that you can punch.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, bah, 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 just like beating the dog breath out of some like, out of Magneto or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then Magneto has this thing where he can make himself invincible and fly, and like, everybody's broken. Everybody's broken.
So it's just chaos.
Yeah, and then, it's complete chaos, and then like Hulk will lose like all of his health, and then you can use your ultimate. Okay, you have an ultimate in this game, which is like, that's common. That's been around for forever. You give your ultimate move. Everyone's ultimate is broken. Everyone's ultimate kills everyone every time it gets turned on. And so like you lose all your health as Hulk. You hit your ultimate. You gain like all of your health back plus twice. So you gain twice the health. You get huge. And then your punches send people flying. And
Very
so
he
he like hits them, smacks them, and they have like cringy voice lines, but they have a couple really good ones. So Hulk does have this attack that is on a cooldown where he slaps the air and it shoots this ball out of like gamma radiation.
Okay.
And it does so much damage. And so you like hit people with it, so you like you're just smashing some dude's face. And then and he's running to try to get away from you. You know, he'll be some like small character who's really fast. He'll have some escape mechanic. So you'll be beating him to death, and then he'll jump away from you, and then you just slap in the air as he's like flying away and just swat him like a mosquito and kill him. And then Hulk goes, turned him green, and runs away, dude. It's so sick. It's so sick. If you kill someone with the slap thing, he goes, turned him green. Unbelievable. This game is so good, bro. It's so fun. I probably would have a job right now had I not started playing that game. Like I would have found a job faster.
Before?
Yeah. It's so fun, dude. It's so good. And it's just because everything's broken.
Yeah.
And it has loot boxes.
Just unhinged.
Unhinged. The game is literally unhinged. Like everybody
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Yes, exactly.
A phenomenal game.
Yeah, Captain America, his ultimate makes him literally unkillable. And so you're just running around beating people, throwing your shield. Mm-hmm. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Nice.
Yes. So that's what I've been on. Which is funny. And it made me
Marvel high.
Yeah, dude, it made me watch the old Avengers movies.
Okay.
Because the new Marvel stuff is like obviously like it just is unwatchable. Like it's just
bad.
Yeah, it's just not. It's like sad. But the old Avengers movies are good enough that you can watch them. They're certainly not like
the first and second were pretty good.
Yeah,
the first one's good.
Yeah, the first one's really good. But then they have the moment where they're like they come together for the first time, and Captain America's in charge. Which Captain America's when I was little, when that was like cool. Captain America was my favorite superhero. Okay. Because his real thing was like, he's super fast, he's super strong, whatever, but his real thing was that you can't outthink him. He's tactically so smart. Sound that you can't beat him on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. And that was his like secret thing that no one really ever got, like in the comics. And so everyone would think, you're just Captain America, you're puny, you're just an enhanced human, but I can smash you. It's like, well, I've already thought this. Like,
gotcha.
So that's why I liked him. So Captain America, I've been playing a lot of Captain America and Marvel Rivals too, but they all have the moment where they come together, they're on the bridge, and he's like, whatever, and he starts giving the plan, and he's like, you do this, you do that, we're going to do this here, whatever, blah, 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 and he turns around, he looks at Hulk, and he goes, Hulk,
smash,
and Hulk is like, and
just
like,
leaps
away, dude, so good. So, and those moments are like, yeah, and I think one of the things that's like sad about being I'm extremely guilty of this. Like I'm number one executor of this problem, which is the like cynicism that exists today when it comes to stuff like that. Like it's hard to even let myself just be like, this is just fun. Like there's no like, it's not that maybe like things have been so devoid of artistic value for so long that it's like if it doesn't
the whole entertainment industry now is just making fun of all the entertainment.
Basically, and so it's like you feel cringe. Like I was sitting there watching it and I had to be like, dude, this is just fun. Like it doesn't have to be cool or edgy or whatever. Just let it be fun. Like this is just fun. It's just fun to be the Hulk. It's just fun. And so, dude, it's just a fun game. So you can just let it go, turn it on, play, and one of the like most, I think, like if you're like me and you're this like cynical like harumph, it's not like punk rock and like cool.
There's not enough dark colors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not counterculture. Where's the racism? Yeah. There's no like edgy like.
Who do you think designed this set?
Yeah. And so if you're like me and you're being a miser all the time about artistic stuff, it is very freeing to get on that game and be playing it, and then in your heart,
lose yourself in it.
Yeah, in your heart it's good. You're having fun, but you can't let yourself admit that it's good and fun because it's like this isn't cool. Yeah. And then you have to stop for a moment and sit and go, all right, dude, why are you being like this? And then you get to go, dude, who's your favorite superhero? And that moment of being like having to let that like down and go, I'm going to have a favorite superhero again. And then picking one.
It's always been Spider-Man for me.
Dude, Spider-Man's broken as hell in Marvel Rivals, dude. He jumps around. You can't catch him. He's hard to play, but he's good. So that's it. Marvel Rivals, dude. It's very good and it's very freeing. And I think at least people in my sphere, people like me, need a little dose of that. Need a dose of like
loosen up.
It's fine.
Just have some fun and stop
Redditors
being so critical.
play it. Yes, it is. Yeah, just have some fun. Kill some superheroes. Do some smashing. It's just good. It's just fun. Like we are not going to win. Our side of the culture war is not going to win if we cannot have fun. If we cannot capture that childlike wonder, that moment of like, this is just cool. It's just cool to be a gigantic, unkillable green man smashing people's heads. That's just cool.
That's part of the Moscow mood.
Yeah.
Having some fun.
Yeah, having some fun.
Like Doug Wilson's flamethrower.
Yes.
That they gave him.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, Doug insisted on reading the whole,
whole
manual
safety
before the whole instructor manual.
Yeah.
Before operating it.
Yeah, I would have taken it and been like, is this a safe? And then somebody would be like, I think so. And I'd be like, what's your gut say?
Yeah.
Safe.
Cool.
All right, bet. Got it. And
where's the trigger?
yeah, immediate covered in 3rd-degree burns over my entire body. Yeah.
Like, that's a wrap. We got what we needed.
Yeah, cool. All right, Ethan's in the hospital, but we got a great promo video. So Marvel Rivals, shouts out. That game is sick. I am going to become godlike at that game. I'm already insane.
Do you have a Twitch stream yet?
Not yet, but it's coming, baby. Look it out.
We'll
Hyper Premium.
let you know.
Hyper Premium DGT across all platforms: Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I'm setting it all up. We're streaming. I'm getting fiber run to my house. We're doing it, dude. I'm getting coaching. I'm paying to have a coach. I will become. They have the top 500 players in the world. It's like a separate rank you can do.
Yeah.
My name will be on that roster.
All right.
It's gonna happen. Pimpy Wet. That's my name on.
What now?
Pimpy Wet is my
Pimpy Wet?
Pimpy Wet is my name on.
Gross. Sounds nasty.
It's a Sam Hyde reference.
That doesn't make it better.
No, it doesn't. It probably makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now I really want to know what it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what it means.
No, I don't think it means anything. It's not. It's
Okay.
he just said it in passing one time. He didn't ever like expand on it.
How do you say that in passing?
He was just going through a list of like rapper names or something that he might use, and that was one of the rapper names that he had. So that's it. That's what I've been up to, dude. I've been playing Marvel Rivals and then watching all the Marvel
Again,
movies.
not better.
Oh, yeah,
List of
didn't make
rapper
it
names.
Not
This
better.
keeps getting worse.
Yeah. It does. All right, dude.
All right. Well, let's move on to
Should we
couch
jump into
cushions.
it? Yeah,
that
we'll
was
jump
pretty
into
much a
it.
couch cushions reference, only it was modern day, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. I still
Can't
got
use
another one
that.
coming.
I know, you still get to use another video game
I
for
do.
couch cushions. So here's the segment of the show. We like to call it Between the Couch Cushions, because when you're looking through the couch cushions and you find something old but good, you throw it in the DVD player if you have one, or if you're Ethan, you go, oh, well, I'll throw this away and download it. Because I don't own a DVD player.
Just a quick jab in there. Nice. I like that. I like a good Jason jab every once in a while. Those are rare.
And I come up with one on
that's,
occasion.
That's pretty good.
Anyway, my recommendation for this week is Holes, the novel Holes. It was written in 1998 by, I'm going to butcher his name, Louis Sachar, Sachar, Sachar,
I don't know.
Sachar.
Your
We'll call him
guess is-
Sachar.
Yeah, Sachar. Good old Sachar.
Louis Sachar wrote Holes, which is a story about a boy who gets wrongfully accused of stealing sneakers
Yeah.
that were up for auction, I think. They belong to a famous basketball player, if I'm recalling correctly. It's been a long time since I read the novel. So
You're aware that they made a movie out of this, right?
yeah,
Okay. I'm just
which
making
was
sure.
trash.
Okay.
Did you like the movie?
I don't even
Okay.
remember. I don't remember.
I remember, the only thing I remember is that Sigourney Weaver played like the camp
Enforcer or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
That I
head
remember.
honcho. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I remember watching it and then not remembering anything about the movie.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf was in that, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Shia LaBeouf played the main character. Anyway, read the novel. So I after reading the novel and then seeing the movie, I was like, they didn't capture it well.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets wrongfully accused. He gets sentenced, since he's a juvenile, he gets sentenced to go to, I think they call it Camp Green Lake,
Yeah.
but there's no lake there. It's just like a desert. The lake dried up like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing camp-like about it. This horrible woman who runs the camp just sends all these boys out, and every day they have a 5-foot shovel, no, a 4-foot shovel, whatever. They are required to every day go out into what used to be the lake and dig a hole that is as deep as the shovel and as wide as the shovel all the way around. So like a perfect circle all the way around. They have to do that every single day, and then they're done for the day and they come back and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's it. They just do that over and over and over again. So they're digging all these holes out here. Turns out they're actually looking for, this will probably be more for your kids. Read this though as a young adult and put it in your collection so when you have kids of this age, then they can read it. That's why I'm spoiling a lot of this.
Okay.
He talks about, I remember the description of all the blisters was really great.
Yeah.
Because all the other boys, they've been there for a while and they're digging their holes or whatever, and he's, it's hard packed dirt. They're like having to dig through. And they're like, oh yeah, the first day is the worst, because he's got all these blisters from not ever having used a shovel and never dug a hole this big before. And then he has the blisters the next day, of course, to dig the same hole again. And they're like, oh yeah, no, the second day is the worst. I think they're like, oh yeah, no, actually the third day is the worst. Like it's just terrible.
Yeah.
It was a very a vivid description of how awful it is to have to dig when you have blisters.
Yeah.
And just until you develop calluses, but you don't have a chance to let your body heal.
Yeah.
Awful. He and one of the other boys, or he runs away one day, and doesn't matter. He runs away. Eventually, they come back and they somehow expose that she's actually just looking. There was a legend of some treasure, I think there was, and that's all they're doing.
Right.
Is she set up this camp to help all these like juvenile delinquents dig for treasure that she's looking for. That's why they're digging holes.
Yeah. It's just free labor.
It's free labor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the prison system.
Right. Yeah. It is the prison system. Yeah.
Using juveniles.
Yeah.
Great story though. Like he runs off and finds another boy who had escaped some time ago and has been living off of like old peach preserves that he found in some cabin.
Yeah. I remember
And
that
onions.
movie. Yes.
They just live on wild onions, and he describes biting into an onion for the first time because all they have to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tears streaming down eating onions, and by the time by the time he comes back, he's so used to the onions that everything else just tastes like he eats some cereal or whatever, it's just nightmarishly sweet. He's like, oh my goodness. And onions don't faze him at all. He can just eat an onion like an apple.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. Nasty.
Great story of like boyhood adventure and overcoming difficulty.
Yeah.
It's been, I probably read it as a teenager, so it's probably been 15, 20 years since I read it, but it stuck with me as being a good story. So pick it up. Holes. Check it out. What do you got, Ethan?
Mine is a phenomenal game that I played when I was little. And I picked it up out of a bargain bin at a Big Lots. No idea what it was.
Never promising. It was always fun, though, to pick up a no-name. My brother and I would do this sometimes. We'd go and buy a $2 game for the Xbox and be like, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Let's see how bad it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We found a couple, though, that were winners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I found
once in a while, you're like, I've never heard of this game.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't know if going to GameStop, if anyone here listening is old enough to have gone to GameStop, but they would have, when the cover was destroyed enough, that they would just put their terrible, rudimentary, like bad cartoon design on the front with just the name and the label, and those are the ones we'd pick because those were the cheapest.
Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Yeah.
So I won this time.
Yeah.
And I actually, that way I found a lot of like games that now as I'm older and I know games, they're actually like now, made by huge studios, and the game is like Morrowind. I found Morrowind in a bargain bin at Sam's.
Did you?
Yeah. And I like saw it and I saw the cover and I was like, this looks insane.
It's just a black cover with the little emblem on it, isn't it?
On the back, they have little pictures and kind of descriptions or whatever. And I read in my
what are these elves?
Yeah. What are these? What is this? What is this robot? It's a robot with elves. Like there's robots and swords. Yeah. That's not. I've never seen that. And so I was like, I gotta have.
It's got two of my favorite things.
Yeah, robots and swords. Yeah, and so I played Morrowind that way. But this is called Conflict Zone, and I think it was made in 2001, something like that. Maybe
it's over 20 years old.
Yeah, over 20 years old. Maybe slightly after, maybe a little bit before. I can't remember. But and you know what? I should have looked up. I should have looked up how you can get this, because it may not be easy. But I bet it might be on Steam. It's a computer game, real-time strategy game, and dude, it was so good. So good. You get a base every mission. You got to go do this thing. Just show your job, commander, is to build a regiment so that you can fight the known terrorist, Jihadi al-Qatir Bumba. You must go this way, whatever. The Russians are over here. You must train. We don't have time, commander. You have 17 minutes to build an army and go this way. Just tons of fun, dude. And so me and my boys used to
Different campaigns.
Yeah, I used to boot that thing up and take turns. So good. And it's just like individual units, you train a rifleman, you train a tank, you train a helicopter.
Okay.
And it was, broken. There were units that were just
unbelievable,
godlike on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Helicopters, whatever. And there were units that sucked. And so the excitement of getting to the just unit that you knew was going to end the game, and just like you get 3 of them and you're like,
it's over.
I am a god. I rule this little tiny digital universe, and just come in and sweep. It is so good. So Conflict Zone, that's mine. It's not much. It's kind of a one-dimensional
That was like
game.
the war elephant in Age of Empires 1.
Yes.
Just an absolute tank.
Yes.
Slow, but you're like, I will never take this thing down with my archers.
Yes.
I'm toast.
Yes. Exactly.
Has trample damage, so if you have axemen attacking it, they're all getting hurt at the same time.
Perfect. Yes. Little AoE action. Yes. So that's mine.
Conflict zone.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, I'm
cool.
a little slow today, guys. We had a celebration for my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law and I decided to see how many margaritas Chewy's has in the back.
Yeah.
They had more than we could handle. So
You tapped out.
Yeah, kudos to the Chewy's in Plano. But I said, it's probably not wise to keep going.
No.
There's a father here of a man that I don't know that well, and the father I've never met before. He just checked out, dude. Me and my brother-in-law were talking, and as soon as I hit, they just can't help it.
Oh no.
He was just like, okay, and just like looked, just completely didn't say a word to us after that.
It's like, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here and talk to the other adults.
Yeah, I hit my brother-in-law with a joke he would usually laugh at, but like one I would just make to him. And but I just made it loudly. Yeah. And instead of laughing at it, he just went and just like hit his face, like tongue hung his head. And I was like, got it. All right. Mixed company.
That's
because usually when I'm around,
there's the line.
Yeah, my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, I just say whatever,
Yeah.
And they think it's very funny, so it's not that big of a deal. But this guy was not. He's like an evangelical, like nonprofit worker, talking about conferences at
the wedding went through, right?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think the wedding's gonna.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No, it was just their engagement party.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
There's still time.
I don't think. Yeah, there's still time for me to ruin it somehow. Yeah. I don't
For
think
him to pull the plug.
Obscure, like off, like I'm the in-law of an in-law at this point, kind of.
Yeah.
So so it's, but it was funny. It was funny. So that's why I'm a little slow today, because I unloaded all my energy on that
last night.
Last night. But moving on to the great
it's the transition.
The transition. We're transitioning. This is our transition animation. We want to talk today about something I think is very important. All right. So I've heard this this debate. I've heard not in recent times, but like just in the world of like, not what I think, who we know listens to this. Those guys also listen to a lot of the, Joe Rogan. Kind of, I think Jocko Willing's kind of out now. I don't think he's that prominent anymore. But like Jocko Willing, Joe Rogan, who's the black guy that runs all the time? What is his name? You're not gonna know. What is his name?
I'm glad you're catching on.
Yeah. He was fat and he became an Navy SEAL, and then he like did a marathon with 2 broken feet. He is very tough.
Apparently.
But oh my goodness. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, there's this debate. And even I was talking to my dad about this, actually. My dad brought this up. Which is this like discipline versus motivation. All right. Jocko Willink, I'll just use him as an example because he's like he has a book called like Ultimate Discipline, or like maximum possible discipline, or something like that, or like unyielding discipline. It's something like that. Okay. And his whole thing is like, you got to be tough. You got to do whatever, if you could do, you with the power of your own will and mind, you must overcome all of your own adversity and make the world, you must smash the world till it looks like you want it to look. And that idea has been like captured by the the online guru. This is another phenomenon. I think I've showed you a couple of these guys. Andy Elliott, the car salesman guy. Have I showed you that guy yet?
I don't know if you have.
Okay, well, Andy Elliott he gets clowned on all the time. Everybody knows he's retarded. But when he came out, he had a moment of people being like, "Oh, is this guy legit or not?" But he was basically ruined when comedians got a hold of a video of him doing one of these classes that he does. So he gets hired. His company basically gets hired by car dealerships to come in and give motivational speeches to the car salesmen to get them fired up so that they'll sell more cars.
Sweet.
And yeah, very funny. And only
get fired up to sell Kias.
Yeah, and this is a reference to one of our last episode of like how delusional tech people are, and like so you have these
the added value.
Yeah, the added value thing. It is these like tech sales guys that are making $1 million a year or whatever. They like to think that because they're talking to the CEO of Pepsi Cola or whatever, that they're somehow more sophisticated than a car salesman, or they're like above Andy Elliott. But it's the same thing.
Gotcha.
It's all the same thing.
Just different level of the same game.
Yep. You're just
sales is sales.
You are wearing a golf tee, a collared golf athletic polo shirt that costs $50 more than the one that the car salesman can afford. And that is the difference between you and the car salesman. So Andy Elliott, he got busted because all these comedians got a hold of this video of him doing one of these classes.
Yeah.
And this is very serious, this is real. He recorded this and put this video out himself.
Yeah.
So
he had
was
control
like,
over it.
Yeah, he was like, this is a good idea. And so he's talking to one of these car salesmen. It's like a guy that looks like me or you, but he's older. Well, he's probably your age. Well, maybe not. He's early 40s, something like that. Okay. But the guy looks super normal guy, just like normal dude, straight lace, the kind of guy you would go to a car dealership and be like, this guy will sell me a car, and he will not. This is a normal person.
Okay.
Just trying to do his job.
Not the.
Well, sir, listen, this thing with the wax, the shiny wax, people are going to be like hitting you with.
I'm going to have to talk to my manager.
Yeah. This guy's just like, listen, the car's this much. This is what we paid for it. We got to do 500 over invoice. We got to do this, and this. We can give you this much off. I can get you in it today, whatever. Give me a call. Let me know. Yeah. Like that kind of guy, that kind of car salesman.
Okay.
Normal person.
Straight shooter, normal person.
And so he's talking to this guy. Now, this guy is not an internet person.
Andy Elliott is talking to this normal guy?
This normal guy. Let's call him normal guy Joe. Joe is not equipped to deal with an Andy Elliott type personality. All right? He's never seen it before. He didn't know that it existed. He is like totally just like mouth open staring at him like, what is happening? And Andy Elliott knows, like every good confidence man knows, that if you just act like you should be there and everything you're saying is like a hard and fast law of physics, people around you will just go, okay, I guess he's right. And so he's doing this shtick.
If you're wearing a badge, you can get in any area of the hospital.
Yes, I realized when I worked at a movie theater, that's when I realized that rules were fake. Because I realized if you just look like you should walk right past the ticket stand and just go into the movie.
Nobody's going to have the confidence to.
Nobody's
They're like,
stop.
who's that guy? Maintenance, I guess?
Yeah. They're not going to have the confidence.
Especially if you're wearing a vest.
Or care. Yeah, if you're wearing a vest, you do
carrying a toolbox.
Yeah. There's a story a few years ago of a guy getting into, I think, like Game 3 of the NBA Finals by wearing a fake press badge.
Yeah.
And he just walked in, knocked on the door, security opened up, and he's like, hey, I got to come in. And they're like, okay. And just let him come in.
Yeah.
And he just he saved himself like $2,000 on tickets because he just had the confidence to be like, yeah, I can just walk in here. So Andy Elliott's doing that, right? And so he's hitting this guy with that. And he goes, how many cars do you sell in a month, Joe? And Joe's like, I don't know, 16. And he goes, could you sell 50? And Joe's like, no, I would have sold 50. And he goes, Joe, if somebody kidnapped your children, if somebody took your children, you got kids? Yeah, I got kids. If somebody took your kids, put a gun to their head and called you and told you had to sell 50 cars in a month, could you do it? And Joe's like, and he's like, what would you do? What would you do, Joe? And he's like,
call the police?
Joe's like, and he's like, would you find a way? And Joe's like, yeah, I'd find a way. You would find a way. You would find a way to sell 50 cars a month. So Joe's like, yeah, okay, yeah. Actually, you know what? I guess I would. That is true. Yeah, I would. And he goes, then why don't you sell 50 cars every month? And the guy's like,
My kids aren't kidnapped.
yeah, because my kids haven't been kidnapped yet.
And
Joe's like,
16's enough to make ends meet.
yeah,
What do you want from me?
Yeah. He's like, basically he's like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, yeah. I don't,
Why are we on this call?
yeah, what's happening? Yeah. And so comedians got a hold of it and just were clowning on Andy Elliott for forever. So Andy Elliott's like total con artist. I think he's been to jail actually for like embezzling money. So I don't know if that's true for sure because I think he will.
All you have to do is cook the books, Joe.
Yeah,
sell 50 cars.
Yeah. I made $1 million a month.
Hard.
Yeah. I've stolen $1 million a month. Why can't you make it honestly? And so, but here's the thing: is that like Andy Elliott guru mastermind you pay me $10,000 to come to my class type guy it is the logical conclusion of the well-meaning, because I do think Jocko Willink is a retard who leans into the fact that he enjoys waking up at 4 a.m. and working out and doing all this stuff, and then says he probably earnestly believes that he doesn't enjoy that, but he really does, obviously, because he keeps doing it. So, but it's just his own discipline. It's my will. I just believe I can. Whatever. Anyways, I think Jocko Willink is well-meaning. I don't think he's like a dishonest con artist. I just think he doesn't understand why he became successful. He thinks it's one thing and it's actually something totally different.
Gotcha.
But all that to say, the Jocko Willink discipline is the penultimate like human characteristic for getting things done. That logical conclusion is Andy Elliott. Like if you just follow that through to its logical end, you get, well, if there was a gun to your wife's head and you could sell 50 cars, why don't you do it now? Like that. Yeah. That is the logical conclusion of it.
Because that's not my everyday, idiot.
Yeah. Because it's unsustainable.
Yeah. Nobody can sell 50 cars a month every month.
Yeah. It would be nice to get a boat now, but my kids also have to eat in 10 years. So, and I can't be a retard eating through a straw because I gave myself nerve damage from like being at the office for 14 hours
stressed,
a day. Yeah.
Pretending my family is in danger every day.
Yeah. Spiking my cortisol to unsustainable levels so that I will get PTSD. So discipline, I think discipline's great, right? Everybody should have a reserve they can dig into, and I think that like sports is a great thing, to teach you that as a young person. And I think weightlifting in particular is a really, really, really good one. I think you can do that. You can use that to teach yourself discipline even as an adult, because of the moment where you are halfway through that last rep and your arms start to give.
Yeah.
And learning how to dig deep and access that little bit of
extra oomph,
that discipline to shut, like it will your arms all the way through the rep. Mm-hmm. I think that's phenomenal. Okay. So I don't want to disparage discipline altogether.
Yeah. You need that.
Now on the other hand, the argument against motivation is that motivation is not reliable. You're going to be motivated to do things naturally some days, and some days you're not going to be motivated to do things. And so discipline is this thing that you can tap into at all times. If you're truly a disciplined person, it's consistent. You have control over it. You can turn it on and off. Motivation is fleeting, which I think is also true. I don't think motivation is the thing that will drive you to do the hard things to change your life from something bad to something good, or from something that it is now to something you want it to be later. I don't think motivation is the ticket either. So what I would like to say, my entry into this argument is that they're both wrong. Discipline is not sustainable in the long term, and motivation is fleeting and unreliable. The one thing that you can use that will generate the Protestant type of work, which is plodding along consistently, little incremental, sustainable work that you see over decades and even generations.
It's the tortoise and the hare.
The tortoise and the hare.
The thing I think kept moving slowly and steadily.
Yes. The thing that I think matters the most, and I've said this a million times, and I will never stop beating this drum, what matters the most is never giving up. And how do you do that? What's the actual thing? The actual character trait that people have to have is not discipline, it's not motivation, it's hope. It is hope. If you do not have hope that the future can be brighter, if you do not have hope that your efforts will matter, if you do not have hope, you have nothing. There is no discipline without hope. There is no motivation without hope. Hope is where you start. You can have discipline to help you dig deep. You can have motivation to make your days, to have good, fun days where everything is just going great and you're super excited to be doing what you're doing. You can have those things, but you can only have those things if you have hope. Hope is the prerequisite to all work, I think. It's the prerequisite to all work. If you are hopeless, if you are cynical, you are dead in the water. Dead in the water. Which is why I think neuroses is such a, like being high in neuroses is always like the opposite of being high in industry. And I think, not to rag on them, I'm not ragging on them. I think this is just a natural state. I think women suffer from neuroses a lot. And so having hope can be difficult for women at times, more difficult than for men. Although I think people in general are very low on hope right now. I think hope is sorely missing in the modern era. And I think that is a huge part of the reason why you have dudes checking out of the system and just going, you know what, I'll just look at porn and play video games or smoke weed, or, all the things we've talked about on here before. Just
talked about
lobotomizing yourself, checking out.
Drug use, gambling,
alcohol,
checking out,
just whichever way you want to do it. Watching sports, the golf course, whatever. You are getting yourself out of the
beers
system.
in the easy chair, watching cable television, flipping through the channels.
Exactly, just
killing
checking
time.
out. Yeah, saying this is not going to work. This can't work.
Yeah, can't see any way out.
Right, I can't see any way out. And
dead end job. The economy's in the toilet.
A lot of that.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah, and that's everybody right now. Everybody has a dead end job. The economy is in the toilet. Show me the Charlie Munger quote. Show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome. People are not getting paid enough today. That's why nobody likes their job. Everyone will be way more happy with their job if they weren't making 50% less than they were 20 years ago, but everybody is. They may be making half of what they were making a year ago, even in many instances, because of all the money printing during COVID.
Right. So not actually half in dollar amounts, but half in value.
Half in value.
Buying power.
And you know that. You know that subconsciously, because you remember when you were 7 going to the grocery store and watching your mom buy a family's worth of groceries for a week to feed a family of 5 for $100. You remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Now you go to buy.
Hard to do it with 200.
Yeah, hard to do it with 200. Yeah. You go now, like
you're eating rice and beans if you're doing $200 a week.
Yeah. If you're not trying to get like processed crap, like we go to the food.
Yes. No, it's impossible to get quality meat.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah. We spend like $300 for the family of 3 right now.
Yeah.
A week on groceries. And so you know that subconsciously. You remember that subconsciously, and you know it now, and so you feel hopeless because there isn't. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a way out of that. I mean, I honestly, you're sitting there, you're looking at it. I get it. I 100% understand. It happens to me every week. You're like this. How? What are we gonna do? Like I've made no money. Right? I've made no money. I've said this before. It was not long ago where I was asking my parents for money to help with bills because we just didn't make enough money to make ends meet.
Yeah.
I've been there. And I've also been now at a place where I've been in the top 0.1% earners for my age bracket. Higher, less than 1% of the earners for my age bracket. And it was just enough. It was just enough to sustain and to do a little more. So like there was no like, we're going to buy we're going to go on a vacation, like a big vacation, family vacation. Like we could not have maintained hyper premium and my wife's business and paid the bills on hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So that was the option. Continue to grind and get ahead and hope that one of these things takes off by the time we're in our 40s so that we can have something like what my parents had in their 30s in our 40s.
Yeah.
And what boomers had their whole lives. Like, but even then it's we're rolling the dice. So it's just not enough. It's not enough. And that is hope that's despair inducing. That is hopeless. And I understand, but what I'm saying is that hundreds of thousands of dollars a year felt great, and it felt great to get that pressure off of having to worry about bills and stuff like that, and
Right.
then knowing like, okay, we can put in hyper premium. We're starting to move.
Yeah.
But that is not an option for most 28-year-old guys.
No.
Not even close.
No.
Like most are like it would be life changing to hit $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like that would be earth shattering. But $100,000 a year is what $50,000 a year was before 9/11. So it just isn't. It's just not enough. And it's if you're a high paid engineer, you are in spending value making what a teacher made at a public school almost 30 years ago. And so it is, and it does not appear that there's a way out because it is a systemic issue that you have no control over.
Right. So we're hoping and praying that tearing down the system will
Right.
eventually
Yes.
loosen the death grip.
Yeah. And so here's the thing that I will say, because I think I'm full of hope. I think Jason is too. He's a very optimistic person. It's a big part of the reason why I asked him to be my partner.
I have crazy ideas.
Yeah, crazy ideas that only somebody full of hope could have.
It'll work out.
Yeah, the only way you and I could have like the ideas that we have, like we should try this, is
that.
if we're like,
It might work.
it might work.
God might bless that.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Let's pray over it and try it.
yes, but here it is. That's the point. I really want to hone in on here. Okay, Jason and I's hope
It's not motivation.
is not motivation.
It's not discipline.
It's not discipline, and it is not. Our hope is not derived from anything material. Jason and I do not. We have the exact same odds that you guys have of becoming materially wealthy based on the current system. We have hope because we believe in the great hope. We believe in the man and the God that is the creator of the universe. We believe that his powers are supernatural. His powers are greater than the material position. So it doesn't matter how bad the economy gets. We believe that the God that we worship, that loves us, has the power to alter time-space. There's no standing up to him. There is nothing but hope to have. And once your belief in that starts to deepen, and your prayer starts to deepen, and your faith starts to deepen, you begin to have hope on a longer timeline. Your time horizon stretches. Who's the guy that has the quote that the church has the convenience of laboring in all of eternity? The church does not have to worry.
That's a good quote, but I don't know.
The church does not have to worry about the conditions of the current era because the church has the convenience of laboring through eternity.
Yeah.
So
Looking at it as a whole.
right,
We're
exactly.
just a part of it.
Jason and I don't even have to worry about the outcome of our lives in particular.
No, because this is such a brief blip in our existence, too. This
Yeah.
is part of the eternal perspective that I derive a lot of my optimism from, is that even if I'm poor the rest of my life,
Yeah.
it's a pretty small part of my existence.
Yeah.
We go back and listen to Live Like You're Eternal, our episode Live Like You're Eternal, and I love that episode. It was very under-listened to, I felt like.
Yeah.
The views were terrible on it. Go back and check it out, because we had a lot of fun just talking about how fantastic and how excited we are about eternity. And if you can tap into just looking forward to that, be the kid who waits for the second marshmallow. Are you familiar with that study?
Yep.
It was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
well. Probably most people are familiar with that. But if you're not, they did this study where they give these kids, like young kids, like 6 years old, 4 years old, little ones, and they say, here, you can either have one marshmallow now, or if you wait 5 minutes or whatever it was, you can have 2 marshmallows. And so there were some kids who took the single marshmallow, and just got what they could immediately and had no ability to wait for it. They had no hope or thought forward. And there were ones who waited and go, I'll wait for the second marshmallow. So we're waiting for the second marshmallow.
Yes, we are waiting for the second marshmallow. And our second marshmallow is infinite marshmallows.
True. It's way better than just
Way better
double
than just
double the.
Yeah, it's infinitely more.
It's not 160 years.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so
hope.
One of the things that I would also like to say, because I do, I've said this in the past too, but some of our more arcane episodes.
We are 55 minutes, by the way.
Okay, cool. Then we'll wrap up. Hoping for eternity is what we ought to do. Looking to eternity, looking at God's timeline is what we ought to do. But we are human and we are fallible, and it does help. I believe in my heart of hearts that through my labors now, as long as I'm doing them prayerfully, as long as I am doing, as long as my priority is doing what I think God wants me to do, and I'm making sure that I'm taking care of the things that God has explicitly told me are my primary responsibility, which is my family, making sure those things are handled first, witnessing to them, leading them in their faith, making sure we're in church, making sure my children are catechized. Is that how you say that?
Catechized?
Yeah, catechized?
In the scriptures?
Yes. Those are my primary duties. Everything else comes second. So I focus on those first. But I do believe that if I focus on these things in the material world, the Lord will bless those, and I will have a material, immediate, earthly reward. And I do find that to be tremendously motivating and very hopeful. Very, very hopeful.
I say that's true on the average anyway.
Yeah, true on the average.
If you order your life the way God has created the natural world to reward dedicated hard work and diligence. So if you have that hope, then you will be diligent in the things that God has put in your life. Then generally, unless God is, I think there's certainly circumstances where you look at maybe even missionary martyrs is a good example. Yeah. People who have just laid down their lives for the gospel and for spreading the gospel, and they don't experience really any material. They might live in poverty in a third world jungle somewhere, but
let me say it like this, because I would argue that I would
say in general,
I bet those people generally die happy.
Sure,
they get to see the immediate result. Here's what I would say.
Okay,
they get to see immediate fruits.
Okay,
they get to watch maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe a dozen, maybe hundreds of people get saved because of their efforts in their lifetime, and so they don't have to wait until they die to see the results of their work.
Possibly. I think there are I don't want us to get into maybe, brushing up against prosperity gospel, that if you just do these things, then you'll be be blessed and wealthy. You will be blessed, but our rewards, it's important to remember, are not here on earth. So even if you never experience material rewards, you never see many people converted through your efforts, you don't know all the ways that God's working. And if your efforts are truly righteous and in line with what God has told you to do, then God will use those in his plan. But you might die early. You might not actually see those things. Yeah. It could be that, Jim Elliot is a good example. He died on first contact with this tribe he was desperately trying to reach in his 20s. Yeah. I don't think he was even 30 years old yet. And his wife went to minister to that same tribe that murdered him and his missionary compatriots, and the men who actually killed him were eventually converted. Wow. But not in his lifetime. Wow. So I'm reading through, Elizabeth Elliot wrote a book called In the Shadow, or The Shadow of the Almighty. Yeah. And it has a bunch of Jim Elliot's journal entries and letters that he wrote both to Elizabeth and to his family and whatnot, just talking about his internal struggles and his motivations and his spiritual journey and his desire to seek out the unsaved, and just his fierce drive to get to these unreached tribes deep in, like, I think it was Ecuador. I think he was killed in Ecuador. And so he never got to see any fruit of that.
Yeah.
That particular venture, but God used it mightily. So I think we can, but I mean, Jim Elliot saw it from heaven.
Yeah.
I imagine he was informed.
Yeah. Somebody told him.
Yeah, somebody told
Peter
him.
at the door.
And he's like, oh, good.
Jim, hey,
Jim.
you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should see what your wife's doing down there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah. Praise God. I've got a lot to do.
A lot to do.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. The point I think of what I was originally saying there was that I believe the good results of my labor, that I don't have to understand how there's going to be good results coming from my labor. I just have to have the faith and belief that God has said that good results will come out of these.
Amen.
Out
yes.
of this.
And they will.
And they will. And so I don't have to sit and know and be able to map out, this is what's going to come to me, or this is what's going to come to those that I love, or this is what's going to come to people. I don't have to go, I know posthumously Work Hard's going to take off and I'm going to be, put into the Western canon for the Book of Wrath or whatever after I'm dead. Like those things, I don't need to know those. I don't need to know that any of that will ever happen, ever. I've said this before. I'll own up to this. I would love to become famous in my lifetime. That'll be it's like 50% of why I'm doing this. But I believe that the results of what I'm doing will be supernatural, and that they will be ushered in by a God who has told me he will bless these particular actions. And I do not need to understand or see or have any sense of what that is. It could be happening right now and I would have no idea. And I don't need to know. And that is, once you let go of that, once you let go of this need for control, this need to see and to understand and to know, and just accept that God has a perfect sovereign plan for all of this, that you do have a role in. Once you accept that and let go of this human desire for control, then the hope you will feel will exceed your own ability to understand.
The relief and peace that you get from that
is insane.
Is what you're actually seeking.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're actually seeking, is the peace.
Look at all the people who have become rich, materially wealthy, and how unsatisfied they are. If that's all they have.
I think many of them are. Yeah, I think many of them are. I think there's many. I know lots of rich people who are very, very well. They're.
I'm saying that alone does not satisfy.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah. Well, yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. The wealth is never ever why these people are why peaceful people are peaceful has nothing to do with their physical circumstances at all.
Yes. No, that's the only distinction I was making.
Yeah.
Building on what you were saying, clarifying. That's all.
Yes.
I wasn't arguing with you.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
We're on the same page.
So guys, listen. You do not have to beat yourself up because you're not disciplined enough. You do not have to get depressed because you feel like you're not motivated. Okay? These are all those problems are stem from a root issue. And that root issue is that you have no hope. Hope is extremely easy to find because it is written in the best-selling book in all of human history. Hope is there for you. It is easily accessible. And if you will drop the cynicism long enough to pick your favorite superhero and pick Christ, the hope that you will find will be so transcendent, abounding, and powerful that you won't be able to stop yourself from doing the things you know you ought to be doing. You will wish you could. It will flip. You will have days where you go, I wish I could stop typing. I just can't stop typing. This needs to be done. I have to do this. And you're just like, I just need a break. I need a break from how hard I work all the time. It will flip. I promise you that. So your issue is not that there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you, but it's not, whatever. That's a whole other thing. We'll talk about it another time because I don't want to, we can wrap it up here. Hope.
All right, boys and girls.
Hope. Guys, we love you.
We're praying for you.
Are praying for you. Please go find a church. Find a woman. Marry her. Have some children. Make sure those children are Christian. Do everything that you must do to be a man of God. We love you. We'll see you later. Bye.